Hi there, this is Dani, and the channel is You and Me Living Free. Thanks for being here. I'm so glad to see you. So I am right now in Estes Park. I am at the Visitor Center, Information Center. They call it the Visitor Center, Estes Park Information Center. And so they have a bunch of information here. It's great, but I'm using their Wi-Fi right now to upload 2 videos to YouTube because it's been prime video making time here at Rocky Mountain National Park, which is where I have been. So I'm getting ready to go, and the plan was, as I was planning my route, I was planning to do from here to just get the long road trip part out of the way, and I wanted to go all the way to the Oregon coast. I either wanted to go to Crater Lake National Park, or I was going to head up toward Portland and just do some Highway 101 driving up there and look at some old forest up there. So that was my option pretty much, but I have changed my plan. I'm deciding I'm heading to Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Park, and here's why. So I've just spent the last few days in Rocky Mountain National Park, and it has been very busy, but when I got here earlier in the week, it was much more manageable. And also they have a reservation system, but as you know, for the most part, the biggest part of the park, it's only 9 to 3. So you just go early in the morning. You don't have to worry about a reservation. Well, I'd always heard, and I know that Yellowstone is very busy, but I'm just thinking it is so big, and if I can get my day started early in the morning and get there before the crowds get too bad, that I might be okay. Plus, today is Saturday, so if I take today as a driving day and just relax maybe on Sunday, my plan is to start nice and early, maybe Monday morning at Grand Teton and then Yellowstone, and maybe kind of go back and forth over the next week or so, but we'll see how it goes. I think the national parks are definitely better Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday than Friday, Saturday, Sunday for sure. So that is the plan. Here's the main driver though. The main reason I decided to make this change is the weather. So every time I look at getting from the Rocky Mountain National Park area to the coast of Oregon area, no matter how high I travel, no matter how northern my travel path is, the temperatures are still really high. So I'm deliberately trying to stay in nice temperatures. I wasn't going to do Yellowstone until September, early September, because I was hoping more kids would be back in school. Well, forget that. I'm going to do it now because the weather is great, and now that I've had this good experience at Rocky Mountain National Park, I'm thinking maybe I can handle Yellowstone even when it is really busy, just by applying these few things that I'm learning and going early and things like that. So that's where we're headed. All that to say, I'm headed to a place right outside, well, not right outside, a couple of hours outside of Grand Teton, because I don't want to do a super long drive day, and I found somewhere that I think I can go that is going to be free boondocking and cool temperatures and right on a great big lake. So I'll let you know what happens, and stay tuned. Okay, this is me just driving, just leaving the state of Colorado, just capturing just a little bit of its awesomeness to take with me because I love Colorado. I will be back. It's only 8-10 hours drive from Kansas City to get to the Rocky Mountains. Well, about a 10-hour drive. So, I mean, I'll definitely be back, Colorado, but I will miss you. And then no one's really surprised that I changed my plans for camping again, did you? The place I had picked out on the lake, actually the temperature for today was going to be 88 degrees. So here's a different place I found. This place is hilarious. I love this. Okay, so the highway, we're just off the highway. We're only a quarter mile off the highway. We are literally driving through a cow pasture. Talk about kind of a unique experience. I just think this is the coolest. The views are awesome. Here's me once I got inside the gate. They have a gate that they ask you to open and close, and it is literally this huge field. This is another reason why I came here, is because I didn't think I would have to worry about coming on a Saturday night and not having space, because they said it's just an enormous pasture and there's tons of room. Here's the iOverlander picture for anyone who wants the GPS on this location. I will definitely be back. I love it here. I just got here. Well, good morning. I am still at the cow pasture, and I was prepping breakfast, and I thought this is something that I haven't shown, and maybe I will show you how I prep food and cook on a nice, beautiful day. So here goes. Let me turn the camera around. So here's my awesome camp spot. I've got my side door open, and I just start by getting out everything that I need to prepare my food, right? Tortillas and plates. I've got some bacon bits. I took some extra time this morning, and I've already been cutting and dicing all my onions and peppers so that I have that ready, because one of the things I do when I'm on the road, I was like, it's too much of a pain to cook. I don't want to go through it all. I'll just, do something else. But if I can have some stuff prepped, these are my eggs. I was traveling with another woman for a little while. I made a friend on the road. Her name's Sharon, and she told me to do my eggs like this. They take up a lot less room. I'm not sure how they fared. I'll let you know after breakfast. I don't know if they got semi-frozen or what. I don't know, but I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm going to open it up and smell it as long as it smells fine. And then here's all my seasonings and stuff. There's my thing to do dishes afterwards. So I put all my seasonings and stuff in this container, and then everything's ready to go when I'm ready to fill it up and do my dishes, right? I've already got my stove out. Of course, I'm not going to cook on there, on the carpeting. But here's the deal. So I've got this little tray, and this is like a little lap tray. But if you see the situation here, so here's my door to the outside. I can stand outside and cook, or I can sit in here on my bed and cook. So if the weather is terrible or whatever, I can sit right here, roll down my window for ventilation and cook. But if it's a gorgeous day like this, then I can stand up and just stand right out there, cook my food, and then eat it. And that is what I plan to do. So let's get to it. Okay, I've finished eating and I'm getting ready to clean up, but I just wanted a couple of more quick thoughts on breakfast. So this is basically everything I had to get out and get ready to bake these breakfast burritos. So now I went ahead and I made extra eggs, and I made extra breakfast burritos. It's going to be so much easier to warm up one of these things than it would be to do this whole rigmarole again. But I have enjoyed this whole rigmarole, and it is time to clean up. So I'll put away my spices and my eggs and cold food, and then I'll fill this up with water and my Dr. Bonners and do some dishes. And so for tonight, this is just me driving through Wyoming, having a few deep thoughts. Number one, isn't Wyoming gorgeous? I mean, it had to be with Yellowstone and the Tetons and all of that, but just driving down the road, I mean, it's phenomenal. I love Wyoming. It's my first time here. But anyway, I was thinking as I was driving that, I have not traveled much within the country. Well, I mean, I've traveled to certain cities like other kinds of travel, but I mean, as far as camping and being in nature, I have explored almost 0% of this country. And so right now I'm focused a lot on national parks. I'm focused a lot on places that I just have not been, that I have on a list that I really want to see, right? But what I'm thinking and what I'm realizing more and more is that there are so many different levels. There are so many different ways to experience nature and ways to do these things that I have really been skimming the surface. When I was at the national parks in Utah a few months ago, I would really only spend like one day in each park. Now, part of that is because some of those parks aren't quite as big as the Rockies. The Rocky Mountain National Park was the biggest park I've been to, but so some of those parks weren't quite as big. You could do them in one day, but also because I can't do these long hikes, I can only do very short hikes, and they don't take much time. So going through a national park doesn't take a super long time for me if it's not, really enormous or whatever. But here's what I'm getting back to. Here's what I'm realizing is the longer I'm out on the road, the more I can go deep and not just wide. Like, I really want to get to Grand Teton National Park and Yellowstone National Park. But once I have kind of done those things and kind of crossed them off my list, done the hikes that I can do, experienced them, I can make a list. Maybe I'll want to go back to one, but I can also take the time and do the next level of exploring. This trip that we're seeing right here is Highway 16. It's like in the middle of Wyoming. There's nothing around except for some ski resorts, but there are some trails and things like that. I could literally spend a week, 2 weeks just exploring these areas that I have never heard of, that I never knew were there. And so I'm just opening myself up to this idea of travel long term and thinking about different possibilities and how it might look and feel. And I gotta say, I'm so excited. Well, let's bring this video to a close. I may be very excited about where I am now and about future traveling opportunities, more national parks, more exploring, everything. But for right now, I have arrived at Grand Teton National Park. I came straight to the campground where I have reserved a spot for tonight at Coulter Bay Campground here in the park. Someone had a cancellation, so there was like one night, one spot available, which hardly ever happens. So I thought tonight I'm going to look over my research and take my map of the park and make a plan for tomorrow. I know there are a couple of kind of long, easy hikes here that I wanted to do, so I'll do that for tomorrow, and then I'll also have to research where I want to stay tomorrow night. I've got a few places already marked out. I don't know if I'll be at Grand Teton again or if I'll go ahead and head up to Yellowstone. Just depends on how tomorrow goes. So thanks for tagging along with me this day, and I'll catch you next time.